and I just jumped in like obviously like the OG Cypher, and everyone just battled the crap out of me. They're just like, who the hell is this guy? And it was like Katsu and Taisuke and all these guys, and I'm just like, some of them I knew, some of them I didn't, and I just got like they would not accept that I like stepped into this, and then we just went at it, and it was dope. And then like we became good friends and still stay in touch to this day. Like,
salute to the subscribers, those that live beyond the cipher. I am your host, Illskillz. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. They cost you nothing. Welcome to episode 13 of Beyond the Cipher with Illskillz, Brick by Brick. We are the podcast that shows humanity in the superhuman. Today on the show, we have a special guest. This individual has been featured in over 60 Canadian media outlets, grew a nonprofit from a group of volunteers to 80 employees, raised millions of dollars to help impact the lives of over 250,000 youth, wrote the book Building Unity, leading a nonprofit from spark to secession, and just for fun, he traveled the world winning dozens of breaking battles. Representing maximum efficiency crew out of the T.O, Bboy Piecez. What up, Piecez? How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm doing well, taking things day by day. Some days are pretty up and some days are pretty rough, but I'm thankful to be healthy and safe and have art and breaking in my life, even when I'm alone. So thankful for my partner, thankful for my dog, all the things. My crew, we still hang via video chats and whatnot.
No doubt.
Sometimes in person, but I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm good, man. And we'll talk about it later, but I am building my plane while I'm flying it. And for those of you who don't know, that'll be very relevant by the end of this conversation. But so it's actually really interesting. Now, I knew who you were just because I've been in breaking. I started breaking in 99. So when you came around and you were doing, you came out when I first started seeing you, and I was like, man, this dude from Toronto is just killing the game with these freeze combinations and all this and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I knew who you were, but what's reintroduced me to you is I was on, Facebook, aka Book of Face, and I was looking at some videos that Bboy Afternoon had put up, and it was from the it was like a panel that you were doing, and it was about they brought you in, you were talking about your book, but before, at the beginning of the video at least, there was a brother on there who had made a video. It was like he was talking about breaking, and he was talking about how breaking connects communities and so on and so forth. And I actually wrote a message in not in disagreement, but when I was I thought that he was giving credit to everyone for creating breaking, and I was like, no, breaking, it has a very specific beginning from a very specific people, but that's not what he was saying. But the amazing thing was he actually reached out to me on Facebook and wanted to have a conversation. So we ended up having a Facebook live type conversation and getting clarity in that confusion, which was mostly on my part, but still, getting clarity in that confusion. And it was that video that I saw with you, and I was like, wow, Piecez is writing books and talking about mental health and so on and so forth. I was like, I gotta talk to him because this fits perfect into our mission at Beyond the Cipher. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And I'm honestly, anytime someone reaches out to me, I always take the call. Like I'm that type of guy. Like, sometimes I learn not to take a second call. To be completely honest, I really, that happens like 1 in 1,000 times. My MO is like, share your time, share your heart with other people. And,
right.
Once in a while you get burnt as a result of it, but more times than not, you build a bridge that like you never could have expected. Right. So I'm always open to conversations like this. And I love like learning about just what other people are doing, because
right.
we live in our own little world as we all do, but how do we expand those boundaries? And I believe it's through conversation.
No doubt, man. And we will go beyond the cipher eventually. But before we do that, I want to start in our traditional spot. We always start with how our guest was introduced to hip hop. So, how did you get into hip hop and breaking?
Yeah, I mean, so I was a little kid. I was probably 12, 13 years old. Excuse me. My mom was struggling a lot as a young person when I grew up, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. So I would often sort of look for different outlets. She struggled with her mental health, and we didn't really know what was going on. But I was a pretty stressed out young kid, and just looking for something, like looking for anything. And actually, believe it or not, I was quite a quiet young person. I like really bottled up a lot of my stuff, my emotions, what was going on. But as soon as I found, funny enough, before breaking, I got into like gymnastics and like walking around on my hands and all this. And I loved it because I could just keep like leveling it up and just doing all this like crazy stuff, like turning off light switches with my toes and walking down the stairs and just being like a weird kid. Anyways, my dad actually connected me to a class that existed, and I'm super thankful that he supported my path because he was just really encouraging, and he got me connected to Benzo from Bag of Tricks, who taught a class for many years here in Toronto, down at Young and Wellesley at Randolph Academy. And yeah, I just started showing up every Saturday, showing up. And everything Benzo showed me, like within a month, I would figure it out. Like it was kind of like
Wow.
just keep sharing this knowledge with me. And he was an amazing teacher. Like he's one of those guys who just knows how to break it down. Like some teachers just have that gift, and he really does have the gift of teaching. So I was really lucky to be able to sort of have Benzo as a teacher and a mentor.
Mhm.
And then, as in hip hop, like he started bringing me to parties, and like I was always the young kid, so, we had to be careful, but ultimately like, getting me into clubs you know, when I like battles at a young age, I would go to Comfort Zone and all these spots around the city where he
Wow.
was hosting jams. And, I grew up in, a different neighborhood. Like I grew up in probably more of an upper class, like upbringing, upper middle
Okay.
class or whatever. So to go to like these clubs with my dad, because my dad was like, "What is this?" Uh, it was a lot of like my dad was really trusting and really supportive because he just said, "Okay, go with Benzo, you're cool." Like eventually through Benzo's class, I met my crew who were also practicing and learning sort of after hours. After the class ended, they come for like the session because he sort of paired like learning with like the practical side. Um, and yeah, I hit it off with my crew. They invited me to a practice in Scarborough, in East York at Secord Community Center, not in Scarborough, East York. And they battled me into the crew right there. And, Secord is kind of like this place, like when you get invited, it's like, you just feel like you've made it into the like this secret society
The
almost.
brotherhood, right?
Yeah, you're just like, whoa, like they invited me to the other practice spot, the crew only
Wow.
practice spot. So, and then when they battled me into the crew, I was like, whoa, this is like, there's that honor, of being
Mhm.
sort of a part of something that's bigger than you. And I really felt that with MEC, with maximum efficiency. And since that day, I've been down with MEC. I'm not one of those crew hopper people who, opportunistically jump on another crew or even
Right.
just jump around maybe because the relationships didn't work out. Like I'm
Mhm.
thankful that our crew's relationships have, they faltered. Don't get me wrong. There's some situations that we still are working through, but we've been around since at least 20 years now that,
Wow.
looking back that I've been involved with the crew. So yeah, it's weird to even say that because I was a young kid and now I'm like, I don't know, an old guy or something. I don't
Right.
even.
Yeah, it's like I did an interview with Bboy Jigs from Supreme Beings, New York, and I asked him, was he an OG? And he said, not in the way that, you know, a person would think. He said for him, OG just means older guy.
I feel like I'm an older guy now. Like I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shoot, like
no doubt.
damn, you're
You,
15 or 20 or like he really just embraced the idea of supporting me, and like there were a lot of people who didn't have that fatherly figure in their life, and like he gave so much love to the scene. Like everyone knew my dad, so he actually kind of was a standout.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section, and to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash the notification bell. We appreciate the love and support so far. Peace until the next episode.